on that video I showed of the truck, that trailer, he dropped that trailer. What he done was the gears stripped out on the dollies, and he let one leg go down, and the other one stayed up. And when he dropped it, I mean, he bent the leg back underneath it. That damn thing about to turn over. But very dangerous situation. But anyways, I told him how to Afro engineer it, or Obama rig it, I should say. Once they get the weight up off of it. But what I was going to, in order to fix our country, in order to get our country back on track, it's not going to be an overnight fix. This is going to take 20, 30 years, I mean, at the least. Because it didn't get like this overnight. It may have seemed like it did, but it didn't. Just people was asleep. They didn't realize what was going on. Not really paying attention to your school system and trusting is what got us in this situation. Well, back some years ago, our great politicians of this country sold us out, and they allowed China and Russia and other Marxist countries to basically buy into our infrastructure without us knowing. Alright, now it's not, you can go look it up, but it ain't gonna say China donates this or invest this much money, or Russia invest this much money into our infrastructure. What it's going to be is going to be private sectors of China and private sectors of Russia. Okay, but that's still, trust me, that's the private sector of China and Russia is China and Russia. They're communist countries. Well, China for that damn sure. Russia's kind of tried to turn it around, but they still got a long way to go. But that's how we got to fix our country. We got to get foreign money, foreign investors out of our infrastructure, especially our school systems, because that's why our school systems has been teaching a total different, I mean, it's different from night and day than what the schools was in the 70s and the 60s, even in the 80s. Alright? They started taking American history out of schools in the 90s. When I was in school, we had Alabama history. That's where I'm from, Alabama. So we had Alabama history, but they don't have that no more. And that's one way. That's one of the biggest ways to destroy a country from within. Is erase their history and pervert it with a bunch of nonsense. And that's why we've got these kids running around wanting to destroy monuments of presidents, monuments of, it's retarded. But that's what they've been taught. So you look at them kids and say, how could they be so stupid? But what you're not thinking about is you're only as smart as what you are taught. If you don't know no better, then you don't know no better. And if you're taught from a early age something, and then someone tries to come in by the time you're 18 and try to tell you something, try to show you a different way or show you that that's wrong, well, there's going to be an argument, because that's what that kid has been taught. And that kid was taught that through people he trusted or she trusted. Okay, that's what you're not, it's what people's not understanding. That, I don't know about any good buddies there. But anyways, this generation is lost. These last two generations are lost. They're done. Now we can take the ones that are in elementary school now and we can fix it. We can fix the problem because they're still young minds and they don't know. Okay, but we got to catch it here. If we don't catch it here, then we're going to have big problems down the road. We're just going to have to deal with this ignorance from this generation, these couple of generations. I can remember my daughter was in school and she would come in and, showing me some of the crap that they were learning, and which I told her it was bullshit, and she could tell her teachers that I said it was bullshit. And if they had a problem with it, they'd come talk to me about it. And I told her not to do it. Straight up. I told her not to do it. And if they had a problem with it, then they'd come talk to me about it. But she got homeschooled shortly after that. And that's what I would suggest until we fix the school systems. That's what I would suggest you do, is homeschool your children. There is a church up there off of Elkwood section that will do this with you. Give you all the stuff you need to do for you, and it'll be legal. You don't even have to have a teacher's degree to do it. So, but I would suggest that would be the way we start doing it, because it's going to take a minute to get the school system straightened out. And one major reason is because of the teachers union. Remember, unions are a communist ideology. They never was intended for a free country. Even though it sounds like a great idea, even though it does. And everybody should get fair pay. I'm not saying they shouldn't. But we're going to have to come up with some type of different system than the unions. Because the first union ever organized, 1933, Workers of the World Unite, Russia. Okay, that's where we're having a lot of problems at. That's where we're having a lot of problems with our cities going bankrupt because the unions are bankrupt. It's all part of the plan, though, people. It's every bit of it. It's all part of the communist plan to take America without firing a shot. So, and they vowed to do it. And they didn't forget, people. You may have forgot, but they did not forget. This has been a goal of theirs since the beginning. Ever since America showed that we was a superpower in World War I, and it really showed in World War II, they hadn't stopped. They really turned the heat up after World War II. But we had some pretty decent politicians that fought against communism back in the 50s and the 40s, 50s, 60s. And if you said you was a communist back then, you liable to have got killed. I'm not kidding. It was that serious. Look it up and see. They really did not take kindly to their kind around that teachers, you can't get mad at the teachers because they're just doing their job. They're doing what the system asked them to do. I mean, I do know a few teachers that they don't like it. They you know, I can think of one personally. She don't like it at all, but you know, that's what she has to do. If she's gonna get her retirement, that's what she's got to do. So, I mean, y'all do your research on it, and if you think I'm lying to you, show me where I'm lying to you, and I'll go back and I'll try to figure out, you know, where I went wrong. But I can guarantee you, if we fix our school system, and whether you believe it or not, bring Jesus back, bring God back into the schools, bring prayers back into the schools, whether you believe in it or not, it's not a bad thing for our kids to have morals and to stand for something. Stand for something good instead of standing for something evil. But that's it in a nutshell, people. That's what we have to do. We'll catch y'all later.